I'm Alexandra Goodman, and for those who don't know me, I am currently Chief Resident for Quality and Patient Safety here at SUNY Upstate, and I will be staying for Hematology Oncology Fellowship starting in July.
Hey everyone, my name is Suhail. I'm currently a core chief resident at SUNY Upstate. I will also be staying at Upstate next year with Alex for a gastroenterology fellowship.
And we are the founders of Women in Residency Life, also known as WiRL.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We're really looking forward to part 2 of our talk and discussing the impact WiRL has had on residents at Upstate.
And we will also discuss how and why you should consider starting a WiRL at your institution. The focus of our first talk largely was who was WiRL and what was our inspiration for initially starting a group.
In this talk, we will discuss what we've been up to since our last NYACP webinar, the impact of WiRL at our institution, and how to start a women's support group like WiRL at yours.
We will also briefly review how WiRL has transformed over the last few years and what we have learned along the way.
We have no financial disclosures or conflicts of interest with the presented material in this presentation.
All photos contained within this presentation of people not wearing masks were taken prior to the pandemic.
Whenever you see this slide, it is a moment for us to pause.
We will be having a poll, so if you can all take your phones out and text Upstate WiRL 977 to the number 37607, and we'll all give you a moment just to join.
So for our first poll question, what do you think are some challenges or obstacles for women trainees in medicine? Sorry, guys.
I know sometimes it takes a little bit of time to translate over.
Okay, so might be having some technical issues. It's not a problem. So if you guys want to maybe type in the chat box, what are some challenges and obstacles that you guys think women trainees face, and we can come back to them at a later time. Alex and I found ourselves ranting in a car ride back in 2019 about the lack of support women in residency have.
We started a discussion about publishing, how we could join more leadership positions, how to network and communicate with leaders in our field, and how we ourselves needed more guidance on how to juggle a career, become more involved in the medical community while also maintaining a balanced life.
And we also noticed that our colleagues felt the same way. Alex and I first approached our program director, Dr. Knoll.
Dr. Knoll loved the idea, and he's been a huge proponent and advocate of WiRL ever since. I clearly remember that day that we pitched our idea to the graduate medical education department. Our first proposal included our vision, what we thought the group would look like, and some short and long-term goals. We ended up scheduling a meeting with the head of the GME department, Dr. Danielle Katz, the Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Lynn Cleary, and our Director of Ambulatory Medicine, Dr. Caitlin Toomey. I remember being really nervous.
You're right. We were very nervous, but it was actually really exciting too. And just to get back to some of our poll question or answers. So in the chat box, we have, the question was, what are some challenges or obstacles women in medicine face? And we have family planning. Definitely, that was definitely something that I found that I needed a lot of support with and had a lot of questions as a woman trainee. Lack of other women in subspecialties to lead by example. Definitely, which is similar to what we're going to talk to in our next slide with regards to the leaky pipeline, balancing family responsibilities and work, maternity leave, and lack of mentorship. So thank you everyone who answered that question for us.
And these were all reasons why we wanted to start WiRL. So thanks. So what we learned during this time was fewer women attain leadership roles, with women representing only 25% of full professors, 19% of departmental chairs, and only 18% of medical school deans in 2019.
Which is actually quite interesting because now we can clearly see that more than 50% of medical student matriculants are women.
Exactly. So why are these numbers not translating to upper level academic positions? This phenomenon we are currently talking about has been referred to as the leaky pipeline of academic medicine. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about it. We talk about it a lot within NYCP, but generally female physicians do not hold many leadership positions. They are more likely to leave academic medicine and are undercompensated compared to their male counterparts.
And we became really interested in figuring out why and how to really address this phenomenon.
So the first thing we looked at, as somebody had mentioned in the chat box, was mentorship. According to a systemic review about mentorship of women in academic medicine, we learned that mentorship has been proposed as an important method to address gender disparities and bias within medicine, including inequities in promotion and compensation.
And not only that, mentorship is also associated with increased career satisfaction, faculty retention, productivity, and promotion.
And despite these benefits, it has been shown that women are less likely to have mentors compared to their male colleagues across varying levels of training.
Additionally, female physicians and professional organizations have identified the lack of mentorship as a significant impediment to career development. And perhaps this ties back to the paucity of women we see in senior positions.
And it's important to note that mentors for women don't necessarily have to be women. They can be men, and men have and can be mentors and sponsors for women at any level. So since the implementation of WiRL, we have seen positive results when women come together, network, collaborate, and support one another.
Studies also show that more gender diverse businesses have more success, higher average revenue, more job satisfaction, increased employee engagement, and decreased rates of burnout for all workers, regardless of age, ethnicity, and leadership level.
So as we formulated our group, we felt that it was important to have a mission statement.
Alex and I sat there for hours trying to brainstorm what our message that we wanted to represent. We wanted our mission statement to adopt an inspirational tone that encourages our members to work towards a common goal.
We wanted to make sure our group was all-inclusive and that we supported women through education, advocacy, mentorship, and service. And this is how we decided that WiRL would focus on 4 main branches: community service, professional and personal development, mentoring and networking, and life and wellness.
After starting WiRL in 2019, we were fortunate to be able to present at our first webinar with NYACP on January 23rd, 2020.
We actually had a lot of fun at our first talk, and that's why we're extremely excited to be with you guys today so that we can have a talk with you again.
So what happened in the last 2 years since our last webinar? We are back today to share our journey.
We believe we have made significant strides since our last talk, and we wanted to share how WiRL has impacted our lives, the lives of our fellow residents, and our surrounding community.
So let's take a look at some of our outreach initiatives since 2020. As a reminder, back in 2019, we hosted our first annual Feminine Hygiene Drive. Through our ambulatory experience, we really started to understand more about the local Syracuse community that we served and its large refugee population. And we came to find out that there was a significant lack of their resources, and one of them was menstruation products.
We weren't really sure what to expect for our first fundraising event, but to our surprise, at that time, we ended up raising more than 10,000 products, and most of which were donated by our very own residents. All of these products were donated to various community organizations, and we even raised enough to give back to our own trainees.
This year, we were extremely fortunate to have gotten the chance to work with Team Upstate and Upstate Foundation for our annual Feminine Hygiene Drive. This drive was completed just a few weeks ago. Having the support and recognition of our institution was a huge benefit. So as we took on the role as chief residents, it really allowed us to be involved in various committees, and one of those was Team Upstate. Team Upstate is a volunteer council comprised of Upstate employees who foster public awareness of various community outreach initiatives. This relationship expanded our fundraising network to allow for a more fruitful outcome.
We are still in the process of actually counting all of the products that we received since it was just a few weeks ago. But with the combination of the actual physical products and the money, we have estimated that we've raised more than 20,000 products. As we can see, this has almost doubled our fundraising amount from 2019. This really demonstrates just how much you can achieve when we collaborate with others, such as Team Upstate and the Upstate Foundation. Not only were we able to collect more products to donate to additional community organizations, but we were also able to increase awareness, education, and also reach more people. So it was really great. During the winters, staying warm can be difficult, particularly in Syracuse, for those who lack resources. We actually often see people walking in the streets without coats or gloves. And so this motivated WiRL to do a warm clothing gear fundraiser. At that point, we donated all of our funds to the community organization called the Samaritan Center. The Samaritan Center is a non-for-profit organization who provides food and assistance to those in need. And the way we did this was we hosted 2 social gatherings, which allowed residents to unwind, connect with their colleagues, while also giving them the opportunity to give back. This was, of course, before the pandemic.
These events were actually really, really fun. And together we collected over 250 articles of warm clothing. And hopefully we can continue with these types of social events soon. During the pandemic, we found new and creative ways to give back to our community. In February 2021, convalescent plasma was in high demand.
We had a very motivated WiRL member, Dr. Aya Albatar, approach us regarding how all blood donation signups were during our normal work hours, and her desire to find a way to make it easier for residents to donate so that we could also contribute to the shortage. So we teamed up and contacted the American Red Cross and chose an ideal time for increased resident and attending participation.
And using our network and platform, we were able to work together and promote this initiative. And this ultimately led to a very successful drive. We had 45 donations, and that helped 134 patients. Additionally, another WiRL member and gastroenterology fellow, Dr. Vanessa Sostre, she wanted to host a virtual coat drive, and this was inspired by the coat drives that she held as a resident. So we collected monetary donations, and we used that donation to purchase brand new coats. And together we raised over $1,000 and donated over 100 coats to the Spanish Action League.
One of our board members, Dr. Alicia Cortese, recognized the need for basic toiletry products for those less fortunate. And so we worked together and we led a toiletry and paper product drive. We set up various donation boxes and raised over 500 items. These items were donated to the Vera House, which is a local safe haven for those who have suffered domestic abuse, as well as the Booth House, which is a runaway youth shelter. As the pandemic continued, we recognized that helping one another to remain active contributed to our well-being. Inspired by many others across the country who were performing virtual running races, WiRL hosted a virtual 5K race for residents and faculty at Upstate.
This was really great, especially since we're all trying to figure out new and creative initiatives to make happen during the pandemic and also consider our personal health.
We also decided to give them like a little prize and distributed customized WiRL mugs for those who participated. And we ultimately raised $880, which we donated to the Samaritan Center as well as the Spanish Action League.
As much as we need mentors to advance, we also wanted to serve as mentors for others, especially for those who lacked resources in our local community. We did this by connecting with La Liga, the Spanish Action League, and initiated a youth mentorship program. At that time, we hosted workshops on body positivity, self-confidence, how to draft a personal statement, setting goals through a vision board, and a career in healthcare.
We actually had a really great time working with these students, and as much as our intention was to help them, their insight and their experiences and their engagement in the workshops left us motivated even after some of the hardest days working in the ICU.
Yeah, remember that time we went, we were like super exhausted from our shifts at the hospital. But after that workshop, we felt really rejuvenated and ready to plan some more workshops with them in the future.
Unfortunately, things had been put on pause because of the pandemic, but we're hoping that one day we can restart with them again. Additionally, one of WiRL's board members, Dr. Michelle Bernstein, helped WiRL to connect with the pre-medical students at Syracuse University. We established a virtual session, and this allowed the students to ask questions, and we even gave them some mock interview questions for those who were applying to medical school.
I really wish I had this opportunity, especially to be able to connect with residents when I was a pre-medical student.
I know, I feel like this was actually really helpful, and particularly at their stage early on is really helpful, yeah. As part of our personal and professional development branch, we held various talks for residents. The subjects that we discussed we felt were incredibly valuable, as most of the topics we covered, we don't normally learn in medical school.
And we wanted to have a platform which allowed for diverse learning topics outside of medicine.
We've completed probably over about 12 talks for our residents and colleagues, and these outreach and collaboration topics all focus on a wide range of subjects, such as understanding contracts, dual physician families, conflict resolution, family planning, fertility preservation, core values of wellness, women in leadership, and finances. And actually it was really remarkable. We actually had one of our very own residents who was able to work with this physician from another institution and worked on fertility preservation, which was a really awesome opportunity for her. And she found all of this out through one of our workshops. So we're really thankful to all of the attending physicians who volunteered their time to speak with us, and we're even able to connect with physicians from other departments and institutions.
We also recognize that as internal medicine residents, networking with subspecialty attendings is very valuable. So we surveyed residents and we hosted a virtual series which allowed residents, fellows, and attendings to connect more on a personal level. Each session covered a different subspecialty where fellows and attendings described their individual experiences being a woman within their respective fields. We also invited faculty from outside of our institution to expand our networking opportunities. We coordinated sessions for cardiology, hematology and oncology, gastroenterology, pulmonary and critical care, and rheumatology.
And lastly, under our wellness branch, we implemented a gratitude month during the pandemic. We had been recognizing that residents were feeling burnt out and drained. So we started this month-long initiative, which included a gratitude tree and 2 separate resident lounges where residents could write something down that they were grateful for on a leaf, and they would add that to the tree. They also had short mindfulness sessions during our noon didactics and a free yoga session for residents with a mindfulness exercise. So despite these barriers and setbacks during the pandemic, we really wanted to try to give residents an opportunity to be able to reflect and be thankful in hopes to build resilience, as this has been shown to reduce anxiety and depression.
Following our first NYACP webinar back in 2020, a medical school classmate of mine, Dr. Ivana Dale, she reached out to me because she was actually really interested in launching a sister chapter at her institution, Allegheny General Hospital in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So what Alex and I did, we gathered useful resources, which we created together, including email templates, logos, PowerPoint presentations, our mission statement, bylaws, and more. And we organized these documents into a welcome packet, which we shared via Google Drive. Our goal was to make it easy as possible for them as they launched their chapter. Allegheny WiRL was officially established in February of 2020. Today, Allegheny WiRL is currently thriving and flourishing, and to see what they've been up to, you can follow them on their Instagram at Allegheny_WiRL.
We're really hoping to create more collaborative projects with Allegheny and networking events in the future.
We wanted to share with you a clip of Dr. Ivana Dale sharing her experience at Allegheny WiRL.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ivana Dale. I am one of the co-founders and previous president of networking, and to provide our residents with a space where we can discuss topics that are not often addressed, such as pregnancy and fertility and training, talking about finances, how to negotiate a contract, and to discuss why more women are not making it into leadership positions or are less frequently promoted to professor, for example. Starting our WiRL went very smoothly. We had a lot of faculty who were very eager to be part of it and to help set up WiRL. Even our program director was very involved, and he often helped us with setting up noon conferences and with contacting speakers to come and speak at our lectures. This will be the 3rd year of WiRL being at Allegheny Health Network, and I am so excited to be a part of setting up more WiRLs at more residencies throughout the country so that your residents can also reap the benefits of having a WiRL at your institution.
That was really nice. It's really great to hear how much she enjoyed her experience of starting her own WiRL.
Yeah, and I remember meeting with her and her colleague and for the first time, and it was really nice feeling to speak with other women from another institution who felt the same way as we did and were motivated to also start a women's support group.
Hi, everyone.
This past December, we elected our 3rd board of members and passed the torch on to a new president. Dr. Ramza Malik is a 3rd-year PM&R resident who has been a member of the board since the implementation in 2019. We have no doubt that she will be a fantastic leader.
We are so incredibly proud and excited for this group of women, and we can't wait to see what they accomplish.
Leaders still need guidance, and to mentor our WiRL leaders, we established a board of trustees. Our board of trustees consists of inaugural board members from both Upstate and Allegheny WiRL. We want to give a special shout out to Dr. Alicia Guerrell, Dr. Devjani Ganesan, Dr. Alyssa Cortez, and Dr. Michelle Bernstein, who are all part of our inaugural board and will continue on our board of trustees.
And Dr. Javier Gambier, he is an associate professor of medicine here at Upstate. He has been a major sponsor of our group and since the establishment of WiRL. As an associate program director, he promotes and encourages all of his mentees, and he has been great about nominating multiple WiRL board members. Additionally, he has been a huge proponent of our involvement with NYACP. We're extremely excited that he has accepted the role of the executive chair liaison, and he will also be a part of our current board of trustees to help oversee the board when Kashi and I start fellowship. Creating this group has been challenging, but rewarding and fulfilling all at the same time. We have learned and grown so much, not just as providers, but also colleagues, community members, mentors, leaders, and advocates. We learned a lot about how to advocate for ourselves, for women, for the community. We also learned our role as mentors, leaders, and how to best support our peers while also having fun. Despite everyday challenges, it is possible to find joy in our careers and lives, and this group has helped tremendously to help us stay grounded and balanced during difficult times. Here are some of the testimonials from our residents and faculty.
Seeing these comments is very empowering.
We're extremely grateful to see how many people have benefited from WiRL within the medical community and even outside of it. Here are some of the words that resonated with us upon gathering these testimonials.
Community,
Support,
camaraderie,
empowerment,
leadership,
career advancement and professional growth,
wellness,
community service,
mentorship,
networking.
and friendship.
This is WiRL.
So, what does the future look like for WiRL? We are proud to have founded WiRL, and we never could have imagined that we would be here at NYACP for the second time. We currently have a chapter at Upstate and in Pennsylvania, but we would love to see another WiRL within New York State.
Additionally, we would love for everyone across the country to know that this type of support is available to them as well.
So we're going to give the poll one more go. And if you're just joining in, if you can text Upstate WiRL 977 to 37607 to join. So the question reads, does your institution have a support group for women in residency? I think this poll might be a little skewed because I know that we have a lot of people from upstate here. But for the no's, please reach out to us.
Okay, so now that we have given you some insight into what we have been doing over the last few years, how can you make the most of your residency experience with a women's support group?
Alex and I were just 2 PGY2 residents, and that's actually a very busy year for us at Upstate, but we still felt that this type of group, specifically for residents, is something that is lacking in the medical community.
We discovered that there was a group for women faculty here at Upstate, as well as American Medical Women's Association, which is primarily targeted towards medical students. That is why our group is unique, because we target at the resident level. We wanted to make it easy for residents to participate, even with our challenging schedule and without required attendance or dues.
Given the benefits we reaped at our institution with WiRL, we wanted to share our experience and streamline the process for other institutions who believe a women's support group for residents will be impactful.
We strongly believe this group is a powerful resource and can contribute to the success of women trainees in their careers and their everyday lives. This is why our board published a paper on how to do this, so we could help others who were interested in doing the same.
With that, we will walk you through the 12 steps for starting a support group for women residents.
Number 1, understand why a group like WiRL is beneficial.
Embark on a deeper dive regarding women in medicine. Understanding history, current research, other resident and faculty experiences will allow you to become more aware of the gender disparity in medicine.
Also, recognize that there is gender disparity and why, and how can you help others who are interested in career advancement amidst the everyday challenges and also have a desire to become more active within their community.
Number 2 is to establish a core team of leaders. If you are a motivated resident, passionate about advancing women in medicine and leadership, find a colleague who feels the same and inspire each other to help others do the same as well.
Or maybe you are a faculty or part of a program leadership like an APD or PD who might know of residents who may be interested.
Step 3 is to obtain approval and support from your program and institution. Being a trainee only lasts for a few years, so getting support from your program and institution is very important to help with the longevity of your group.
We suggest submitting a proposal to your program administration and consider using the help of your chief residents. With the support of your program, request to set up a formal meeting with the Graduate Medical Education Department.
Step 4 is to adopt a mission statement. The mission statement is the heart of any group. It is a formal, succinct description of an organization's purpose, practices, and core values.
5, to first start hosting an interest meeting, you have to take into account the residents' busy schedule.
So once a time and date are decided, create awareness and promote the meeting by using social media platforms, email, and flyers.
The interest meeting will really allow you to have a more deeper discussion and kind of discuss more about what the vision of the group is. This will also allow you to generate a member list. And so you can also determine if there are any people who are interested in leadership positions at that point as well.
Step 6 is to encourage diversity and also include multiple specialties. We find it really valuable to network and communicate with other specialty providers. We have a lot of shared experiences, but we also have unique ones too. So it's really important that we can create an environment that allows residents to express themselves within a safe space.
Number 7 is recruit faculty advisors and mentors. It's paramount to have faculty who serve as a resource and who can provide support. So you want to try to identify faculty who value the mission of a women's support group and who are also passionate about mentorship. The mentee-mentor relationship can be a catalyst for success. And we have been extremely lucky to have Dr. Toomey, Dr. Campoli, Dr. White, Dr. Knoll, and Dr. Gambier as advisors and mentors.
8, consider hosting networking and social events that comply with your institutional policies. This will serve as a means to bring residents together, gain more interest in the group, and allow others to donate to a meaningful cause, but in a fun way too.
And 9, community outreach and drives. Connecting more intimately with the community you serve outside of the hospital is something we believe is extremely valuable. And so these experiences can keep you grounded, remove you from your day-to-day routine, and serve as a reminder for why we all chose medicine, to help others. So keep in mind the limited time trainees have and spearhead fun, interesting, and creative events, which make it easy for residents to participate in.
Along with that, having a platform to enhance financial literacy and work-life balance will also allow members to become more well-rounded.
10, electing a board of members can provide female residents with an opportunity to hold a leadership position early on in their careers. There are so many benefits that ambitious, passionate people can expect to gain from joining a board. You can make an impact, get involved in a cause you care about, and learn unbeatable leadership skills, just to name a few. So electing a board helps to maintain the operational duties as well as provides a safe space for us to navigate residency and serves as a source of camaraderie and networking. The roles and expectations of each board member should be clearly defined by creating bylaws. This ensures that the board members have a clear understanding of their duties and responsibilities.
11 is to utilize a common workspace. Using resources like OneDrive and Google Drive allows for information to be stored, shared, and accessed from separate locations at the same time. Canva is also a useful tool to create promotional items like flyers and social media posts. And 12, utilize a secure and centralized fund to manage your donations and finances. Consider using an institutional fund. We use SUNY Upstate Foundation, which is a not-for-profit organization that manages multiple funds that support the institution and the local community.
And most importantly, we wanted this to be something that was fun. Our jobs are extremely demanding and stressful on a daily basis, and we wanted residents to feel like they had an outlet.
We have definitely discovered a lot of joy, sisterhood, and camaraderie through WiRL, and we hope others do too.
And creating a women's support group is only possible if you can get a team together that all work towards a common goal.
And this is why we firmly believe that this is just the beginning. We envision a national network of resident women who work together, connect, and push for a better tomorrow.
For more information on the 12 steps that Kashia and I just went over and how to start a women's support group at your institution, check out this article published by Kashia, the board, and I by scanning the QR code. We have one last question for you guys. So let's see if technology will comply with us.
We're curious, after hearing our talk, do you think a women's support group like WiRL would be impactful at your institution?
Maybe you're just saying that because we're here, but we have really enjoyed and valued the engagement we have experienced today. And we urge you to reach out and connect with us at upstatewirl@gmail.com if you have any questions, concerns, comments, or interest, or check out our website, We will also include the information in the chat box, which I will put in there right now.
Also follow us on our social media platforms. We are very active and engaged on our Instagram account at upstate_world. We post about our current initiatives that we have going on, inspirational quotes. We feature various residents. So it's a great way to see kind of what we've been up to.
We also like to highlight some women in history as well sometimes, which is fun.
A whirl in history.
Whirl in history. And lastly, we would like to thank Dr. Gambier and Karen Tucker Labello. They have encouraged and supported us from the very start.
They've seen us grow from 2 second-year residents and now transitioned into chief residents. Thank you so much for NYACP for providing us with this amazing opportunity.
And none of this could have been possible without the support of our family, our friends, colleagues, and especially the rest of the WiRL crew, which includes the board members and the board of trustees. And we have worked with so many amazing people on this journey, and we can't wait to see where this group goes. So thank you all for joining us today, and we want to open up the floor to anyone who may have any thoughts, questions, or comments.
Well, I will start for a second that this was wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Suhail and Dr. Goodman. I am awestruck by what you guys have put together, and thank you. I would like to have the chapter support you. We would love to put anything like a toolkit, your webinars on our website. I mean, our mission will be to get more than one other residency program in New York to get a WiRL. I really think we can build some traction with this, especially when you guys got all the work done. You got your bylaws done. I mean, it's just basically, when I saw what you did with Allegheny, I was like, wow, you're just, the complete package. So it's amazing. Thank you.
And that's what we want to do. We essentially wanted to make it easier so that it's very kind of fluid and transition for other programs if they want to start it as well.
Unbelievable. I'd love to write an article in our newsletter too, with your assistance. I'd like you to write the article.
We can do that, Karen, definitely. Thank you so much for your support. We really, really appreciate having you on our side. It's made this experience a little bit easier for us. So we really appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, it's so worth it. It's amazing. And our governor, Dr. Lee, has a question.
Hi, you guys. Oh my God, this was an amazing presentation, and what you've done as residents is really astounding. I'm determined to start a WiRL at Stony Brook. I have to recruit a couple people, but I think there is a great need for this. And it looks like it's pretty much you set up a 12-step program to make it easy. How did you learn about the business aspects, like the money and how to create a board? How did you guys learn about that?
Google, trial and error, and with the help of Dr. Knoll, who is our program director, Dr. Gambier helped us a ton, Dr. Toomey, Dr. Lynn Clearly, we also reached out to her as well. They kind of helped us navigate some of our questions that we may have and directed us towards the various resources that we could find at our institution.
And my parents actually started a foundation many years ago. And so we sometimes would pick their brains and ask them questions regarding how to set up something that's, I guess, sort of like a non-for-profit sort of thing, but not legally one. So yeah, a lot of Googling, and Dr. Knoll and Dr. Gambier were a huge help.
And then on your board, it seems like I couldn't read all the names, but is it multidisciplinary, or is it just, it is?
Yeah, so our president right now, she's a physical medicine and rehabilitation resident. We have another resident who is in surgery, who is on our newly elected board. And then we have an emergency department liaison who is also part of our board. And we just started a new role of a medical student chair. So she's going to be she's a resident now, but she went to Upstate. So she's going to help us make the connection between the medical students and some of the residents, because we recognize that medical students then become residents. So how can we help them make that transition as well?
It was really
so impressive.
It was really important for us to just like include other specialties, because we work with them, like not like within our own department, but we work with them every day just with taking care of patients. And we're constantly like consulting each other and talking to each other. And then we'll run into each other and we just pretend like we don't even know each other. And I'm like, that's not right. And I figured they probably felt the same way in a lot of our experiences. And they probably also have different experiences that I would love to like chat with them about. So after kind of including them, it's really made patient care, at least for me, so much easier, because now I can be like, oh, like I have this consult. It's just easier. We're just nicer to each other. We don't have to be so mean to each other. We're all kind of having very similar goals here. And that's to kind of figure out how to be a woman in medicine and also to take good care of our patients. And Dr. Lee, if you're interested, if you want to send us your email, maybe we can send you kind of our welcome packet that we've put together if you are interested in kind of taking a look at those resources.
That would be amazing. Yeah, definitely.
And we can, get everything together so that the first link from our webinar and maybe this one, so that if they want to kind of watch that, it's kind of like a good recap of everything.
Thank you.
Dr. Gambier.
So I'm proud of you, both of you, and it was excellent talk. I would just suggest one thing, as you are expanding world, I think you should also think about talking to ACP at the national level, because the more we educate and make people aware, it's a great group of people got together at Upstate. And I see how we all have grown so tremendously, and not even just your personal goals, but teamwork, leadership, outreach, community. So that's like, I feel proud of you, all of you, especially Alex and Keisha co-founding this. So it will help other women colleagues to get this kind of exposure and help them grow. And we have Dr. Lee and Karen, and I will, they are big support for us, and if they can help us to take you guys to ACP.
That'd be great.
Alicia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Alicia Guerrell. I'm a current PGY3 at Upstate, and I've had the immense pleasure of working with Drs. Suhail and Goodman in the last 3 years, both on the World Board and as colleagues, co-residents. And I cannot rave enough about how amazing of a job they have done in establishing this group at our residency program. Especially in the pandemic, it really provided such a great sense of sisterhood and meaning to the rest of our resident life. When so many things were shut off and closed down, we were still able to give back and to build connections. It's already been a topic of discussion with my future program director about, potentially opening up a WiRL outside of New York State. So the sky is truly the limit for WiRL, and I really appreciate everything that the both of you have done.
You're gonna make me cry.
It's been such a pleasure, Alicia, just like getting to know you, even just as like a friend on like a personal level. I'm so like happy that like the relationships that we've got to develop, and it's been such a pleasure working with you. You're also just like an incredible physician too, and I'm really excited for your future as well.
Thank you. Feeling is very mutual.
Yeah, we're excited you took a chance on all of our crazy ideas, and we could get to join it.
Great job on the presentation.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat. We have lots of follow-up to do with both ACP and NYACP. I don't want them to beat us to the punch, but we can work on both of them, Dr. Gambier. We have a great team here at New York and a great connection with ACP, and I can see this going a long way. It's amazing. I'm just so proud of you guys. That's all I can say. It's just very, very informative webinar tonight.
Thank you everyone for taking the time to join us today. We really appreciate your support immensely.